Welcome again. This is Dr. Norman. We are building up on the lies that are breaking marriages in our day. I have talked about a number of lies that the enemy is using in marriages up until other marriages break. I have mentioned already that marriage has numerous enemies. Mainly enemies of marriage, they come from outside the marriage, but there are times when the parties to the marriage needs to take heed, because the enemy can use those parties to that marriage as enemies of their own marriage. And so to safeguard our sailing through as married people, we need to be scriptural in all what we do and very biblical. That will work as a safeguard. It will work as a protection to the actions or to the kind of life that you might live, that it might not be working against your marriage. So in this session, I am going to be talking about this lie number 6, lie of the enemy that is using to destroy marriages. Lie number 6, you hear people, or you hear spouse, you hear husband and wife saying, my spouse and I are incompatible. My spouse and I are incompatible. And if it is not you or in your marriage, it could be your friends or your relatives. And as I speak right now, I'm talking about something that you are well acquainted with. You've heard this from many circles and from many people. Now, what would have happened is, myself, I don't know a lot of husbands and wives who are truly compatible. I am so many years in marriage, and I have come close and helped many couples. I don't really remember of one couple that I can say, oh, look at this couple, they are compatible. They are compatible. And this is the way that God has created man and woman. We are two different important people. Two important people who are different. Man and woman, we need to be there. Men are characterized by being speedy in what they do, whereas the wife takes time, and might be something that you don't like, but sometimes you need to embrace and enjoy, because there is a work that works in your own life. And both sides, the wife can be saying, my wife is speedy, and the husband could be saying, my wife is slow. But if you look at it with an eye of the Spirit of God, stepping on the foundation of God's love, you will see that it has a work that it works in your life. It has a work that it works in your life. Here, you are, like I said, you hear people saying, my spouse and I are incompatible. My spouse and I are incompatible. I don't know of any husbands or wives that are compatible. But what I know is when they get married, when people get married in marriage, God joins together two different people. Marriage is a commitment of staying together between two undone people, between two different people. people who are completely different, and we are committing. This is the one thing about marriage. We are given a certificate before we graduate, and before the real graduation, some will be asking for opting out, which is not fair. We committed at the beginning, and as we talk about compatibility, I don't think it applies to marriage. Compatibility. If I will respond correctly to my spouse's weaknesses, then God can teach me forgiveness. Who knows? Maybe God is teaching you patience. Like I mentioned already in some previous covering, God might be teaching you about unconditional love, mercy, humility, brokenness. The life of a person who believes in Jesus Christ is developed by responses to not only happy things. The life of a true child of God is developed by responses even to some kind of scenarios that are not favorable. And what matters there is how you respond. How do you respond in difficulties and some hard things and things like that? And those very difficulties include weaknesses. Weaknesses are difficult. Weakness may be in your spouse or things like that. But incompatibility that does not really apply there. What I would say myself through experience, why not make a compatibility? Make a compatible. Yeah, you can do that if there are things that you. But I always have a question. This is the very girl, this is the very boy who caused you to have sleepless nights when you first stayed together. And now maybe far down the line, you are introducing incompatibility, that she's not compatible. That there isn't there's nothing like that. If I will respond correctly, you just need to pass the lesson that you are passing through, the lesson of applying long suffering, patience, and humility, unconditional love. In the absence of filial or conditional. Filial is a conditional love. Some can only smile at you. I can only be polite and talk to you if you satisfied me in bed. When I had my sex well, I can smile, I am happy. But if that is missed, even outsiders can notice that there is something that is not right here. It really becomes true that a hungry someone is an angry someone. And that should not be the case. We can only opt in for unconditional love. Can enable us to sail through such situations and conditions. That is why we are told in Colossians chapter number 3, verses 12 to 13. We are told there to put on a heart of compassion. We are told there to put on a heart of compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bearing with one another. I want to draw your attention to, you are having a morning walk with your wife and she is limping. She has an aching ankle, and you are not moving like on the speed that you normally move. So what actually is happening there, you are bearing with her. That means there are things that you are You are not going to do like you used to do all the days. There are things that you are going to be not to enjoy, like you used to enjoy moving, jogging, and moving fast, maybe running here and there, but you are going to go little by little, keeping up to the pace that she will be taking. That's a very good example of bearing with one another until that situation is overcome, or until that situation is over. Until that situation is over. And yes. So what I am saying in line number 6, there is nothing like being compatible. There's nothing like being compatible. There's nothing like being compatible. You can make your spouse compatible. You can make him compatible. You can do that, and you'll be happy. I've heard some great teachers about marriage say, if your husband is a farmer, you need to start loving his work, so that when he goes to these shows and is among many people, is doing some presentation, or if your wife is that, you need to laugh a little bit, so that when these functions come up, you can be part of it. You can be always there besides your husband or besides your wife, so that she will not be always alone in the name of we are not compatible, and not even up to the extent of calling for we need to divorce. The truth there will be there won't be any love. That is the truth. There won't be any love. The love will be absent. Love will be scarce, and even the filial love, scarce, and up to the agape love, scarce and not in existence. And then we do that. But when love is there, like I have always said in the videos, love never fails. Love never fails. If you have good friends, go to them. They will tell you that no, that's not you have a lot of things that you are not, because by living together every day, there are things that are becoming alike to both of us. Alike. You start with the things to eat, and sometimes you find the color of clothes. I've seen a lot of couples, because one loves yellow, and then the other with time also developed to love that color. And you hear or you see when they're doing their next selection, either of shirts or whatever, you see that that color the other spouse loves is also affected the other. So it's something that develops. If you see people who have caused you to think you are not compatible, they did not get that from the shop. They didn't get that from the supermarket. They didn't pick it from a shelf, but they worked on it. They developed it, and now it is a desire that other people can see. So if you want to enjoy your marriage, like we always say, a marriage is like a garden of flowers. If you don't tend it, if you don't give time it, if you don't always look after the garden, weeding, pulling out the weeds, tending it, it will deteriorate. It will deteriorate. And I've also noticed, I have noticed that if I spend the whole day, I am somewhere out there, and my wife is home, and when I come, the two of you need to physically you are together, but now you need to really come from where you were the whole day for you now to be together here. I have noticed that you can, the fact that you are together does not really mean you are there together. Sometimes someone can be where he has been doing some meeting and he stays there whilst you are now home. So it's not a matter of being compatible, but we can work out things and maintain our joy in our marriage. Like I said, there's a link underneath this video to those who want to move quick and faster, and you have a diverse choice of whatever you want. There's a link below this video which will take you to the entire website. And until the next video, we'll close this one.